When he was at his poorest, I broke up with him. Later on, he became famous, and tried everything he could to marry me. People used to say I was his Bai Yueguang, the one he truly loved most. But after we got married, things changed. He started bringing different women home every night, breaking my heart over and over again, until I became the laughingstock of our circle. Still, I didn't cry. I didn't cause any trouble. I simply moved into the study and lived quietly, never interfering with whatever he was doing. He got so angry that one day, he kissed me fiercely and whispered through clenched teeth, "Aren't you even jealous?" What he didn't know was that I was already sick. Every time he lashed out at me or treated me coldly, I was secretly counting how many days I had left to live. By the 3rd year of our marriage, he had taken in a young college girl, Zhou Qiaoqiao. Sweet, innocent, exactly his type. He'd kept her around longer than any other woman besides me. My friends warned me to be careful. They said this time was different. He seemed genuinely attached to her. I first met Zhou Qiaoqiao on my birthday. That morning I started having nosebleeds and went to the hospital. The doctor told me I might not make it past next spring. I nodded calmly and whispered, "It's okay. I'm not afraid of dying. I just hope it doesn't hurt too much." There was a medicine that could make my life more comfortable, but it was expensive. My bank account wasn't enough, so I went to his company to ask him for help. That's when I ran into her. She had just graduated and was working as his secretary now. He was in a meeting, so I waited outside. Zhou Qiaoqiao kept staring at me and whispered to her co-workers, "Is that really the boss's wife? She looks so ugly and lifeless, like she's about to die. You always say I look like her, but no, I'm much prettier." I caught my reflection in the glass, barefaced, wearing an oversized down jacket. Not glamorous and definitely not healthy looking. Another co-worker pulled her aside and whispered back, "Don't be rude. That's because she isn't dressed up. If she actually put effort in, all 10 of you combined wouldn't compare to her. And don't think you can keep provoking her just because the boss spoils you. You don't know how deeply he loves her. If you upset her, the boss will drop you in an instant." Hearing that Shen Yanzhao loved me so much, Zhou Qiaoqiao frowned, clearly unhappy. She rolled her eyes at me and walked away. Later she came back with a cup of tea and asked sweetly, "Sister Meng Meng, why does the boss always wait for you no matter how busy he is?" She tilted her head thoughtfully. "Every time I come here, he drops everything for you. It's kind of strange, don't you think?" Her smile looked eerily familiar. It reminded me of myself years ago. I thought about it for a moment. Yes, Shen Yanzhao did treat her differently. He usually only kept women around for a few days, sometimes a week or two, before getting bored. But with Zhou Qiaoqiao it was different. He took her out to eat, shopping, to movies. They looked like a normal couple in love. She got both money and affection from him. I smiled gently and asked, "If he cares about you so much, then why are you still just his mistress? Why don't you convince him to divorce me and finally marry you properly?" Her expression shifted instantly. Her lips pressed into a thin line and she snapped, "The real mistress is the one who isn't loved. And that's you. You're just clinging to him because you met him earlier. Now you're old, plain, and useless. Why are you still fighting for him?" One of her co-workers, probably worried I'd get angry, quickly grabbed her arm and pulled her away. But honestly, none of it affected me anymore. A long time ago, I promised myself I wouldn't let Shen Yanzhao make me feel pain ever again. Not anger, not sadness, certainly not jealousy. He didn't deserve it. Zhou Qiaoqiao lost her balance when she was yanked back, and the teacup shattered on the floor. A deep cut opened on her palm, blood spreading across the tiles. Shen Yanzhao saw it all through the glass of the conference room. Everyone watched as he dropped his papers, stormed out, and scooped her into his arms. His voice was sharp and furious. "Who the hell did this to her?" The kind co-worker stepped back nervously. I smirked and said coolly, "I did. And she deserved it." Zhou Qiaoqiao burst into tears and shouted, "Yes, I deserved it. Who made me fall in love with someone I shouldn't have? I've been called a mistress, a shameless woman. But Mr. Shen, as long as you love me too, I'll stay by your side forever. No one can tear us apart. Even saying something so ridiculous, she sounded brave and sincere. He looked amused. He wiped her tears gently and coaxed her like a child. Be good. You cry like a little cat. He really treated her differently. I lowered my gaze, not wanting to watch anymore. I turned to Shen Yanzhao and said simply, for my birthday this year, I want 500,000. Isn't it funny? We're married, yet we don't even have each other's phone numbers. The only time I reach out is for money. Before we got married, we had a deal. He wanted me and I wanted his wealth. He always hated me for being greedy. But back then, no matter how much I asked for, he would give it to me without hesitation. This time though, he gave me a cold smile and said slowly, You want money? Fine. But Meng, lower your proud head first, and apologize to Cao Cao. He wanted to buy my dignity with 2 million, to pay me to beg forgiveness for Zhou Cao Cao. It was the first time he'd humiliated me for another woman like this. I clenched my fists slowly and smiled faintly. Then I turned and walked away. I suddenly wondered what Shen Yanzhao would do if he knew this money could help me live longer. If he knew how much I suffered before I died. What would his face look like? I went home alone and curled up in bed, trembling from the pain, drenched in cold sweat. I took some sleeping pills and lied to myself. Once I fall asleep, it won't hurt anymore. Half asleep, I dreamed of when I was 20. Back when Shen Yanzhao was poor but loved me deeply. That year on my birthday, I passed a coffee shop and saw a couple sitting by the window. The girl held a small, snowy white cake. It looked delicate, delicious, and expensive. I remembered it was snowing heavily that day. I held a pile of snow in my hands, smiled at Shen Yanzhao and asked, Ian, does this pile of snow look like a cake to you? He hugged me tightly, hiding his red eyes from me. 3 days later, he showed up under my dorm window holding a large cake. Cost 258 yuan. He stood on that freezing snowy street handing out 3,000 flyers just to earn enough for it. I saw the frostbite on his fingers and cried uncontrollably. I shouted at him, Shen Yanzhao, your hands are meant for reading and writing, not for wasting them just to make me happy. I whispered, I don't deserve such an expensive cake. He frowned and immediately argued, And Meng, you're the best girl in the world. You deserve everything good there is. That day I cried and ate the whole cake. I don't remember its taste anymore. All I know is that nothing has tasted sweeter since. I slept for a long time. In a haze I heard my phone ringing. When I picked it up, I heard Shen Yanzhao's voice calling me. And Meng. I smiled softly and replied sleepily. Ian, it's snowing again. I want to eat cake. Before he could speak, I turned over and fell asleep once more. I woke up late at night, hungry, and went to the living room looking for food, only to find that Shen Yanzhao had come back. He bought Zhou Cao Cao a new house. They were living together now. She cooked for him, made him laugh, and waited for him to come home. He was enjoying a good life. He hadn't been back here in a while. Now, he leaned lazily against the floor-to-ceiling window, cigarette between his lips, eyes fixed on me. I lowered my gaze and tried to walk past him, but he grabbed my arm. Frowning, he asked softly, Why have you lost so much weight? His tone was gentle, like he still cared. I froze, then shook off his hand and snapped, Shen Yanzhao, why are you acting like this? He looked at his empty palm for a moment. Then his expression hardened. As I walked toward the dining table, I stopped dead in my tracks. There, sitting on the table, was a cake filled with candles. So that call wasn't a dream after all. I had said I wanted cake, and he actually bought it. What was this? A peace offering. But I was already dying. I didn't need cake anymore. I didn't need Shen Yanzhao. I grabbed the cake and threw it into the trash. Shen Yanzhao gritted his teeth, grabbed me, and pushed me roughly against the wall. He scolded harshly. And Meng, are you seriously playing games with me? I smiled and admitted. Yeah, I was messing with you. What's wrong with that? I said I wanted cake, so you went and bought it. Why are you still being mean to me like before? I twisted the knife in his heart deliberately, watching his face turn completely cold. He stubbed out his cigarette, dragged me into the bedroom, and threw me onto the bed. He was probably losing control. Like a wild beast. He roughly tore open my nightgown. I panicked and hit him. Shen Yanzhao, you bastard. Don't touch me. I think you're disgusting. He pinned my legs down, leaned in, and bit my neck hard. Cried out in pain. He whispered in my ear. And Meng, if you finally give in to me, will you die? Do you know how long I've been waiting for you to beg me? How many years have I waited for you to finally need me? Do you know how happy I was when you said you wanted cake? And then you laughed at me like that. He lifted his head and stared into my eyes. I held back my tears and stared back. In that dim room, neither of us spoke. Neither of us was willing to give in first. Then he leaned closer, about to kiss me, when his phone rang. It was Zhou Qiaoqiao calling. He paused, then answered. I heard her crying on the other end. Mr. Shen, are you really leaving me for Sister Meng Meng? You said you liked me. I'm in a bar right now, I've had too much to drink, and a guy is harassing me. I'm scared. Come get me, please. He didn't speak. He just stared at me, gave a cold smile, and ordered softly. And Meng, beg me. Beg me to stay. As long as you beg me, I won't go. He must have forgotten that a long time ago I had begged him, with all my dignity gone. Shen Yanzhao, can we talk calmly? Can we stop hurting each other? Can we try to stay together? Can you be kind to me? That day he looked at me coldly and said with a smile, and Meng, you're not worthy. Those words have haunted me ever since. Today, I finally had the strength to tell him the truth. I grabbed his collar and said clearly, Shen Yanzhao, you are not worthy. He stayed silent for a moment, then laughed bitterly to himself. He put the phone to his ear and told Zhou Qiaoqiao, wait, I'll come get you. Without another glance at me, he stood up, slammed the door behind him, and left. The next day, photos of Shen Yanzhao fighting with other men over Zhou Qiaoqiao spread across the internet. It was the first time his affair had gone public. Reporters gathered outside my house. When I stepped out, they swarmed me with questions. Shen Yanzhao's company had grown rapidly in recent years. He was powerful, rich, and famous, especially among young people online. A girl reporter approached me and asked, Mrs. Shen, what do you have to say about Mr. Shen and Zhou Qiaoqiao? I kept walking and replied without turning back. One is a man who cheated during marriage. The other is a woman who knows exactly what she's doing. What more do you expect me to say? The girl chased after me. But I heard that you left Mr. Shen when he had nothing. Later, when he succeeded, you used emotional blackmail and every trick in the book to force him into marrying you. Now that he's found true love with a beautiful, talented young woman, you're still clinging to the title of Mrs. Shen, even calling others mistresses. Don't you think you're being unfair? I stopped, turned slightly, and sneered. I reached out and grabbed her press badge. She was an intern. On the back of her ID holder was also her student card from Nanshan University. Calmly I asked, are you Zhou Qiaoqiao's friend? Back then, Shen Yanzhao did everything he could to marry me. Do you really think I wanted this? Everyone in the circle knows the truth. You don't. Or are you here just to help your little friend smear my name and climb to the top? Her face paled. She snatched back her badge and retorted, we are friends, yes. But I'm a reporter. Everything I say is objective and fair. If you really didn't want to marry Mr. Shen, why not just divorce him when he falls for someone else? I was about to answer when suddenly, I had another nosebleed. Blood dripped onto my lip and I felt embarrassed. Someone in the crowd laughed. Mrs. Shen says she doesn't care that she was forced into this marriage. So why is she getting angry and bleeding her nose now? I slowly wiped the blood from my lips and said calmly, I'm not angry. I'm just sick. Dying, actually. Nosebleeds are just one of the symptoms. The crowd fell silent. Only the girl continued. Oh come on, pretending to be ill now just to look pitiful. I really can't stand women like her. Women who'll do anything to take another woman's man, even if it means fighting dirty and throwing away their dignity. It makes me sick just thinking about it. After our encounter at his company, Zhou Qiaoqiao's reporter friend followed me outside, still grilling me with questions. She flipped her ponytail dramatically and walked off, her back looking just as annoying as Zhou Qiaoqiao's. The video of my confrontation with the reporters quickly went viral online. Shen Yanzhao responded publicly. I will never divorce. Don't bother my wife again. That same afternoon, Zhou Qiaoqiao's friend was fired. Online comments exploded with criticism toward me. People said things like, "This woman is so disgusting. If she doesn't want to be married, why not just say so? It's like someone held a knife to her neck and forced her into this marriage." She claims she's Boss Shen's Bai Yueguang, but honestly, she seems more like a fake innocent type. He defends her so much I'm jealous. And get this, she dumped him when he had nothing and now she's clinging on because he's rich. Just when the hate comments were flooding in, one netizen suddenly jumped in. All of you clean up your mouths. If you don't know what really happened, just shut up. Everyone started asking him what the truth was. He hesitated before finally saying, "The truth isn't something nice to talk about. Back then my mother fell seriously ill. Her condition was terminal and it was genetic. There was a high chance I could develop the same illness at any time. Worse yet, if I ever had children, they could inherit it too. The day my mother got sick, she had a severe nosebleed and lost so much blood that she slipped into a coma for 3 days. When she woke up, the first thing she told me was that Shen Yanzhao and I needed to break up. I stared at her blankly and whispered, "Mom, he won't mind. He won't stop loving me." My mom gently held my hand and nodded. "I know he's a good boy. You two have loved each other since high school. Every morning, he'd ride his bike to wait for you by the alley. Do you think I didn't notice?" She smiled softly and continued, "Once, I saw him buy you a meat bun for breakfast. He only had 12 yuan in his pocket, 10 for the bun, 2 for 2 cups of soy milk. 1 for him, 1 for you. You were greedy and careless back then. He lied and said he already ate, and you believed him. You held that meat bun like it was the best thing in the world." Little Shen was pitiful. His parents were divorced, no one wanted him. They gave him just enough money to survive each month, and still, he spent every last coin on you without hesitation. 12 yuan might have been his entire daily budget, and he used it all on you without a second thought. Then she sighed. "At the time, I felt lucky that my daughter found such a good boy. Smart, kind, full of promise. But I also knew he couldn't carry both me and his grandmother. That year, Shen Yanzhao's grandmother fell seriously ill. He was raised by her and loved her deeply. My mom said Shen Yanzhao's wings weren't strong enough. If he carries his grandma on one side and you on the other, he'll never be able to fly." I clenched my fists until my nails dug into my skin. After a long silence, I whispered with trembling lips, "Mom, I can't let him go." One word of refusal, and tears spilled down my face. Even now, years later, remembering that moment still makes me ache inside. Before I passed, I wanted to visit my mother's grave one last time. I bought her favorite persimmons and prepared to say goodbye. Before that, I stopped by Shen Yanzhao's office to retrieve something very important. When my mother was still alive, she always liked Shen Yanzhao. Back when she wasn't sick, we were still together, deeply in love. She once went to a temple and brought back 2 lucky dolls. One was for a boy, hidden with Shen Yanzhao's birthday. The other was for a girl, mine. She said they would bring blessings, safety, health, and forever keeping the people you love close. She asked me to give mine to Shen Yanzhao. He didn't want his own doll though. He wanted mine, the little girl one. He joked that the red-faced doll looked exactly like me. Ugly but somehow adorable. "She looks like you," he said. "And I like seeing you." That doll stayed on his desk for years. I was afraid that after I died, he'd toss it away like trash. So I needed to take it back, to leave it with my mother to keep her company for me. When I arrived at the company, he was watching the interview video where I talked about my illness and impending death. He didn't look up when I walked in. He just threw his phone aside and said nothing. I glanced at his desk. The spot where the doll used to sit was empty. I frowned and asked, "Where's my Fua?" Zhou Qiaoqiao stepped forward with a smug smile. "I pricked my palm a few days ago." Mr. Shen was heartbroken. He said he couldn't bear to see me hurt, so he gave me the doll. He even said it looked like you, clumsy but cute, and that he liked it very much. Sister Meng Meng, don't you think that's sweet? I mean, I'm way prettier than that ugly doll. I clenched my fists and glared at Shen Yanzhao. Why did you give my things to her? Do you know how much my mother begged me to keep that? He smirked. Your Fua. Sorry, I forgot. I thought it was just some worthless junk. Before he could finish, I grabbed the crystal ashtray from his desk and smashed it against the table. He didn't flinch. The sharp edge hit his forehead, drawing blood. Zhou Qiaoqiao screamed. Are you insane? Throwing things at people over a broken doll? She ran out and came back moments later holding the doll. She tossed it at me angrily. Here. Take your stupid thing back. Like I care about something you throw away anyway. Just take it and leave. The ceramic doll shattered on the floor. I saw my name and birthday split into pieces. Just like my life, probably beyond repair. Suddenly I realized I might really die soon. But I hadn't seen my mother yet. I was scared she'd be waiting for me forever. My head spun. I slapped Zhou Qiaoqiao hard across the face and shouted through tears. That was my mother's. Feel bad. I feel bad. Before I could finish, I broke down crying. I reached out to grab her again, but Shen Yanzhao caught my wrist. Tears streamed down my face as I laughed bitterly at him. You knew I was dying, and you still treated me like this. Shen Yanzhao, you truly are heartless. He wiped my tears gently and muttered. First the cake, then death. And Meng, is it fun for you to play with me like this? Don't cry. I won't feel sorry for you anymore. Before he could finish, a warm drop of blood landed on the back of his hand. I had another nosebleed, worse than before. My legs gave out, pain shot through my body and I collapsed. Shen Yanzhao caught me just in time. He shouted for an ambulance, panic rising in his voice. Call an ambulance. Hurry. As I faded in and out, I heard him begging. Why won't the bleeding stop? Please, stop bleeding. And Meng. In the hospital, I smelled disinfectant and heard the doctor quietly tell him. She could have lived until next spring, maybe longer. But she stopped treatment due to lack of funds. Now her condition has worsened beyond recovery. Shen Yanzhao snapped. So you're telling me my wife is dying? Well, I want her to live. Cure her. If you can't, find someone who can. He nearly destroyed the ward in rage. He called in top medical teams, offering unlimited funds. But some things like terminal illness can't be fixed with money. He insisted on taking me abroad for treatment. With his wealth and influence, no one dared stop him. It wasn't until my best friend Lin Qiaoqiao arrived with my will that things changed. A long time ago, I had signed a legal document giving her control over my medical decisions. I left clear instructions. If I'm bedridden, unable to eat or drink, just let me go peacefully. Qiaoqiao knows I fear pain more than death itself. She slapped Shen Yanzhao hard and scolded him. You may have money, but where were you when she needed you? Now you're trying to act like a hero. Too late. She's going to die. Don't even think about moving her. She stays here with me. Shen Yanzhao stared at the will in her hands, frozen. After a long silence he begged. Lin Qiaoqiao, please. Let me take her. Believe me, she can survive. She'll be fine. She won't die. If she does, what am I supposed to do? Qiaoqiao scoffed coldly. A cold-hearted man like you can live just fine without anyone. She shoved him away, sat beside my bed, and held my hand tightly. She spoke softly, tears streaming down her face. And Meng, Do you really not want to live anymore? Her sadness made me ache. I wanted to reach out, to wipe her tears, to tell her not to cry for me. I whispered weakly, I'm just going to sleep, a long, peaceful sleep. When I fall asleep, it won't hurt anymore. She sobbed again. But do you want to wake up again? You said we should say goodbye properly so there are no regrets. You haven't said goodbye to your mother. Or to me. How can you just leave like this? Her tears mixed with mine. Suddenly the heart monitor beeped loudly. The doctor rushed in and urged Chow Chow to keep talking. She's showing signs of waking up. That day, Chow Chow held my hand without letting go, not even to drink water. She talked non-stop, sometimes crying, sometimes laughing, so emotional it almost scared me. I had planned to just fade away. But being around her like that made me feel guilty for not waking up to comfort her. I struggled with my failing body until midnight, and finally opened my eyes. For the next half-month, Chow Chow never left my side. She took care of me obsessively, feeding me, helping me to the bathroom, practically doing everything short of dressing me. I started getting anxious. If this kept up, she was going to lose her mind. One day, while she was out of the room, I decided to go to the bathroom by myself. I managed to walk, but when I came out, my legs gave out. I fell hard, hitting the sink. Blood covered my face. I tried to pull myself up, accidentally knocking down the towel covering the mirror. When I looked up, I saw a terrifying reflection staring back at me. Shen Yanzhao burst in, scooped me into his arms, and turned me away from the mirror. He cursed under his breath. I just went to pay the bill. Where the hell did Lin Chow Chow go? Useless. I couldn't push him away, so I frowned and snapped. Don't talk about Chow Chow like that. I don't like hearing it. She has her own life, family, work. Unlike me, who has nothing better to do than cause trouble for her. He fell silent. He grabbed tissues and gently wiped the blood from my face. His eyes filled with pain. Trying to stay calm, he asked, Why didn't you tell me earlier that you were sick? What's the point of having a mouth if you won't use it? You could have gotten help. Do you know, and Meng? Why do you insist on being so strong and making things worse? I answered calmly. Because I don't need you. Not your care, not your presence. Whether you know I'm sick or not. It doesn't matter to me. Truth is, I never hid anything from him. My medical reports were right on the table, visible to anyone who lowered their head. But he never looked. Those days I was losing weight rapidly. Zhou Chow Chow was always by his side. Prettier, younger, more lovable than me. He started staying out all night for her. He never saw me falling countless times, crying out in pain, terrified and alone, calling for help. He carried me back to the hospital bed, and as he bent over, a tear dropped onto my face. He turned away and said bitterly, Yeah, and Meng, you're amazing. If you want to dump me, just dump me. If you want me gone, just say so. I know you don't need me. Then fine, you don't need me. After a pause, his voice cracked. But I need you. I said nothing. I closed my eyes and pretended to sleep. He still didn't know why I had broken up with him all those years ago. The day he returned, famous, successful, wanting to marry me and start a family, I had planned to tell him everything. I owed him an explanation. I wanted to tell him the truth, that the cruel words I said during our breakup were all lies. He deserved the best girl in the world. A happy home, healthy children, free from poverty and disease. But that girl wasn't me. I couldn't marry Shen Yanzhao. I was afraid if one day I got sick and died, he'd cry for me. And I wouldn't be able to bear it. I didn't answer her. I just turned and walked away, leaving the reporters with nothing but silence. The next time I saw Shen Yanzhao was at my mother's grave. He stood under the old willow tree, holding the broken pieces of the Fua doll wrapped in silk cloth. His eyes were tired, nothing like the sharp, angry man who once threw me against a wall. He didn't say anything when I approached, just placed the doll gently on the tombstone, beside the persimmons I had brought. Then he whispered, She loved me like a son. He nodded. She did. There was a long pause before he finally looked at me. Why didn't you tell me? I smiled faintly. Would it have changed anything? He didn't answer. Instead, he reached into his coat and pulled out a small velvet box. Inside was a key. To the house, he said quietly. Zhou Qiaoqiao left. She said. She couldn't live in someone else's shadow. I didn't reach for it. Shen Yanzhao, I said softly. You spent years chasing after someone who already gave up trying to keep you. And now that I'm letting go completely, you want me to stay. He looked like I'd slapped him. I used to think love meant fighting, I continued. But sometimes, it means knowing when to walk away. That night, I dreamed of snow and cake again. Only this time I wasn't watching from the window. I was sitting at the table, eating the cake with him. When I woke up, there was a package outside my hospital room door. No note, just a beautifully wrapped red box. Inside was a white ceramic doll. No name, no birthday. Just a tiny inscription on the bottom. This one is for the girl who deserved everything good in the world. I held it close, closed my eyes, and for the first time in years, I let myself cry. Not because of pain. Not because of regret. But because I finally felt peace. And somewhere deep inside I knew, this was how I wanted to go. Quietly. Gently. With no more fights left in me. Just love. Even if it came too late.